Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need to take a day off. Phyllis, we have roll call, please.
Craig Koshaw.
Here.
Matt Dyer.
Here.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Here.
Scott Murray.
Here.
Wiley Sir.
Here. You're all emailed a copy of our minutes from our June 5th meeting. If you've had a chance to review those minutes, I'd look for a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from our June 5th meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I don't know if I should do this or not, but I'm going to. I'd just like to have a moment of silence as we just found out that Jeremy Gilbert's father passed away. So it was somewhat unexpected. So if I could just have everyone take a moment of silence. Thank you. We're all family here, you know, and it's tough when something like that happens, especially when it's unexpected. And he just took very ill yesterday, and this happened just this evening. So, first thing we'll visit tonight, Derek, I'll let you go first so that you can get in and get out of here. Derek Vrablik is here. He has an event form for the Flat 50 for the Adams County Bicycle Club. The event is June 23rd. That's this coming Saturday. Looks like it begins at Riverside Center, and
It ends on Madison Street.
Jackson.
Aren't you hungry or thirsty? They got a big festival coming.
Well, we're working on that. I think we got big plans for
If I
next.
rode 50 miles, I'd need something afterwards.
Well, we got some neat ideas.
Just tell us briefly about it, what it is. Yeah, I know it's a bike ride, but
Yeah, we have 150 riders pre-registered so far. We have average age actually over 50, believe it or not.
young pups.
Yeah, what's that?
Young pups.
Young pups.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because they don't have kids in the house. But, we hope to have about between 300 and 400 riders. We will generate about $14,000 in revenue, and then we give that away to charities locally. And this year we gave to the Optimist Club, the Heart Club, and just one other we gave to. We gave $5,000 the last 2 years ago to Parks and Rec, so we're trying to help out there. But we had to move our start-finish from high school due to what's going on there. We were told we can't be there. AC is under, complete remodel, so we decided to go to Riverside this year. And it looks like due to the Decatur, it may work out even better. And we did talk of next year housing our start-finish closer to that venue. So I think we have some possibilities coming up next year. We can also tie in our registration with maybe some things, but yeah. So basically we want to close Jackson for safety reasons as the riders start and finish for the day, basically. Just in front of Riverside, kind of like Kikianga does there.
And they will be taking off around 6 a.m.?
7.
7 a.m.
Registration's at 6.
Okay.
And then we'll leave at 7.
Leave at 7, and most of the riders will be coming back in, or be
About
scattered all around?
Between 2 or 3 is most of them.
Okay. All right. And you've got this all okayed with the fire department and the, looks like the police chief. Did you,
Mr. Graham signed it.
okay, did anybody from the street department know about?
Gary knows about it, he's part of the park board.
Okay.
He'd have a problem with it, but he's not. He's
Yep.
not dealing with it, we're given.
Don, if you want to make sure Matt gets the message on this, since Jeremy's going to be busy, so. All right. Have a motion to approve this event? So moved. Second. Have a motion and a second to approve the Flat 50 bike ride. Any questions for Derek before we vote? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Have fun.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, is everybody ready for some ordinances?
Ready or not?
We have third reading of 4 different ordinances tonight. Annexation, social media, sign ordinance, and off-street parking. And in that order, they're 2018-11, 12, 13, and 14. So without any further ado, if I could, I would look for a motion to place ordinance 2018-11 in its third reading.
Which one's first?
11. 2018-11.
Is that
It's the annexation
annexation
for the
of
water plant. Okay.
the water? Okay. I will make a motion to place 2018-11 on its third reading by short title only.
Second. A motion and a second to place ordinance 2018-11, its third reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We need the
Oh, I'm
ordinance.
sorry, I might need that.
I don't have it memorized.
You don't?
No.
Tim, take it away.
Ordinance number 2018-11, short title, an ordinance of the common council of the city of Decatur, Indiana, which annexes certain territory to the city of Decatur, Indiana, commonly known as the city farm property annexation.
I will make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-11 on its third reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second for adoption of ordinance 2018-11, its third reading. We'll have a roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer.
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray,
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2018-11 has been adopted. Thank you. And the next one up then will be the social media ordinance, which is 2018-12.
Before we,
Oh, you want to pass this around for signatures?
Mayor, before we read that, can we have discussion?
Yeah.
So if we find it necessary to remove a post, do we archive that somehow?
Excuse me?
Do we archive that somehow? That was a question someone asked me.
As to whether we archive it.
They said there's some, I had a message on our Facebook page from Pat Norton, who used to be the county's IT.
Yeah, doesn't even live in Adams County anymore.
In Florida counties, he said, you want to make sure to archive this stuff using a, something called SMARSH, whatever that is. It should be able to monitor all the city's social media. I don't know what that is, but it may be something we want to look into, just from a,
Probably some software that Pat...
covering our back from a legal standpoint.
The reason to archive it is you preserve it so that if there is a challenge, you have the ability to produce it.
But
Yeah.
and this would be an IT question, it may be, depending on how long it's on, it may be archived. I mean, because of keeping backups.
Yeah, I would check with Ethan and see what he says.
Yeah.
Melissa?
I'm contacted regularly by companies that run this kind of software, it's archiving social media software, and they're suggesting that all units of government archive everything. The difference between archiving it and it just being on Facebook forever is that you can go on and delete a post and then you can't see it anymore.
Right.
So it would automatically archive every single thing that's posted and keep it. Now, I'm sure that there's a fee for this, and I don't know what that is. But I'm contacted pretty regularly by companies who are trying to sell us this.
And I would check with Ethan just to see if we already have
It
that
may be
capability
happening.
built
It
into
may be
what-
happening already, we just don't know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will ask that question.
So that's a good question.
I'm in favor of passing this, I just want to
Yeah.
cover us. Yep.
Yeah. But like you said, it may be happening.
Right.
It's just,
Okay, so with that in mind, I doubt if it's being covered right now, not social media stuff, but, with the idea of Melissa following up and securing us, unless it's just some ungodly, I don't think it would be, amount, obtaining a protection and archiving service on social media posting, I would then look for a motion to place ordinance 2018-12
Melissa's got her hand
in
up.
its third reading.
Can I ask one more thing?
Absolutely.
Does there need to be included in this ordinance some kind of protocol for if I would happen to see something on a comment that I think is questionable
Give me the ordinance.
of who I run it past or somebody before the decision is made to remove it?
I guess maybe I would like to read,
Is that in there?
I would like,
It's the administrator
makes that decision.
The prohibited uses, the following comments shall be considered prohibited posts or comments on the city's social media websites. Comments unrelated to the purpose and topic scope of the page, obscenities, personal identifying information or sensitive personal information, incitement to lawless action, speech presenting a grave and imminent threat, fighting words, true threats, fraud, defamation, libel or slander, solicitations to commit or speech integral to criminal conduct, information that could reasonably compromise public safety, promotion or advertisement in favor of or in opposition to a political campaign or candidate, apparent spam, content posted by automatic software programs, information which may interfere or compromise current investigations, police tactics, or the safety of police staff and officers, and lastly, copyrighted material if posted without the copywriter's holder's consent. Those were prohibited uses. Is there anything else in this that we want to point out? I think that was...
To answer Melissa's question, I think, again, this was patterned after an ordinance that the mayor obtained from the mayor's roundtable.
In the event the city takes steps to remove a post, the moderator of the city's social media site shall notify the user by social media messenger that the post or comment was removed by the city and state the reason why the post or comment removed was determined to be a prohibited post or comment.
Who is the administrator?
Melissa.
So I think she just...
And Aaron.
I would like to confer with someone if there's something questionable that I at least run it by somebody that I'm not the sole,
Sure.
or the administrator isn't the sole decision maker of what is considered inappropriate.
Well, and it might happen at Friday at 6 at night, and you'd like it removed before Monday.
Then she takes a screenshot of it, sends it to me,
Yeah.
and we confer,
Yeah.
which we've done before.
I don't think the administrator should be the only
Well, it doesn't,
person who gets to just remove.
you're the one that monitors it, and you're the one that removes it, but it doesn't mean that you have to make that decision in a
Right, I'd
vacuum.
like to have some assistance in making...
And what I would suggest is that the prohibited uses are the primary and sole reasons why something is removed. So you want to make sure that if you do remove something, it falls squarely within that language.
Are you saying every time or just sometimes?
I'm saying every time. That if something needs to be removed... More than one, yeah.
Because there are clear violations with just you looking at it. I would say if there was something that was that you
Crystal clear.
think is controversial, but somebody else might not. But I don't
And
think...
that's why I would prefer that me or the administrator, there be two eyes, look at it and make it in...
But if there's just a vulgar rant, you don't need to ask somebody else to take that off. You can just do that.
But what
Well-
I think is vulgar, somebody else might not think is vulgar. And
Let's say that it's F word after F word after F word after this, after that. Well, you don't need to ask somebody to take that off.
We can debate this all night.
You do whatever you want to.
Yeah.
I was saying you don't need...
If the ordinance needed a order of operations for removing a comment.
Generally, whenever we do get something of a negative comment, Melissa will let me know, and we figure out either a way of privately messaging that person. In the past, that's what we've done. Now, we likely would remove the post and still message them and let them know the reason why we removed it. So, but yeah, I mean, as long as she can get a hold of me, if she can't get a hold of me, she can screenshot it to Tim or somebody for one of you even to kind of say, yeah, if it's questionable. So,
And if it's for the law enforcement, just get a hold of Lynn Corral.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the sole person.
I understand. And Lenny has, and Les has administrators for their Facebook pages as well. And does the PD have a Twitter account?
Yeah,
Okay,
I do that one.
yeah. So, any other comments or questions?
Please.
Bob, you look confused.
Can you say the mayor's a jerk? Is that all right? Or, well, you just say...
I'll make a motion.
Bad?
I'll make a motion to place ordinance 2018-12 on its third reading by short title only.
Second. I have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2018-12 in its third reading by short title only. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Tim?
Ordinance number 2018-12, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana, which establishes the proper use of the city's social media sites, which prohibits certain uses, and which establishes the rights of the city to monitor and administer its social media sites. Make a motion to place ordinance 2018-12 on it, to pass ordinance 2018-12 on its third reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second to, for passage of ordinance 2018-12 on its third reading. Those that have a roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray,
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes.
Ordinance 2018-12 has been adopted, and I'm sure everyone will have their opportunity to autograph that. Tim will pass that around.
Thank you, Tim.
Did the other one make its way back this way?
Yes.
Okay.
Phyllis, did you have the Cocosine, didn't you say I needed to sign, notarize that?
This is for
Yes,
those
they
guys
do.
to sign.
Thank you for reminding me. Did you just sign it? No, I think they did. Yeah.
Already did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one up would be the sign ordinance. Is there any discussion on the downtown sign ordinance prior to moving on to that one? If not, Wiley, 2018-13.
Okay, make a motion to place ordinance 2018-13 on its third reading by short title only.
Second. I have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2018-13 on its third reading by short title only. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Sorry. Sleeping over here.
Tim?
Ordinance 2018-13, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur, which amends Chapter 150 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented for the purpose of revising in its entirety Section 150.331, the terms of which regulate signs within the City of Decatur, Indiana. Make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-13 on its third reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for passage of ordinance 2018-13 in its third reading. Phyllis would have a roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray,
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes.
Ordinance 2018-13 has been adopted. And the next ordinance is 2018-14. That is the off-street parking ordinance.
I'll make a motion then to place ordinance 2018-14 on its third reading by short title only.
Second. I have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2018-14 on its third reading by short title only. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Tim?
Ordinance 2018-14, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur, which amends Chapter 150 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented for the purpose of revising in its entirety Section 150.327, the terms of which establishes off-street parking requirements within the City of Decatur, Indiana. Make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-14,
On its third reading.
yes, on its third reading.
Okay. I have a motion and a second for passage of ordinance 2018-14 on its third reading. Would have a roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray,
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yeah.
Ordinance 2018-14 has been adopted. Okay, next thing is another ordinance, but we're not going to pass it. It's ordinance 2017-15, which we've been tabling for some time. Tim and Kevin and I met. The software is in place. The software does enable the owner of a property to do quite a bit of looking, I don't know what the word, digging into what his tenants are doing as for paying their utility bill. Kevin, I'm gonna let Kevin address what the software will do. Then, in addition to that, I'll email this to all of the council members. Today, Tim sent us an authorization agreement for landlords, whereas when they have a property that they're leasing, that they would need to fill this out with their individual names or business entity, whatever they work the business under, and it just explains what course of action the city would take, and why they are the responsible person for that property. And these would need to be turned in for every property from every landlord before utilities would be turned on in the future. Do you want to address this at all, Tim?
Basically, the way I intend to draft this ordinance is going to be a little bit different than what we previously submitted back in 2017. I think the body of the ordinance is basically going to say that owners are responsible, but the city will allow for a tenant to have a service placed in a tenant's name, provided that the owner signs an authorization agreement form, and it spells out terms and conditions under which that will be allowed. And then secondarily, that the tenant also fills out a form. And I'll attach those forms to the body of the ordinance, and then the ordinance will say that in the future, those forms can be modified based upon, the discretion of the Board of Works, so that you don't have to amend your ordinance every time. But it allows it then to be kept up to date. The gist of the conditions that I suggested, were that, first of all, the utility services are provided to a listed property of the owner, and that those services benefit that property. And as a result, the owner is responsible to pay for the utility services for each listed property. So it makes it very clear it's the owner's responsibility. In the event service to a listed property is placed in the name of the owner's tenant, as the owner is requesting, the owner is jointly and severally liable for any unpaid utility bills invoiced directly to the tenant. So if the tenant doesn't pay, the owner's on the hook. And then it talks about what happens if a tenant leaves and a final bill is issued but not paid, or let's say somebody is in occupancy, doesn't pay their prior month's bill, now it's tacked on to the current bill. And what I said there is, if that happens and it's not paid by the due date of that second bill, that we're going to put the property service back in the name of the owner, and we're going to bill the owner directly. And if he doesn't pay it, or she doesn't pay it within 10 days, the water service, sanitation services will be discontinued to that property until all amounts owed to the city are paid. And in addition, if the owner fails to pay that within 10 days of being billed, at that point, then the owner would be responsible for a reconnect fee, costs of collection, including reasonable attorney fees and statutory interest, and that will make that property ineligible to be put in a tenant's name in the future, so long as that owner owns the property. The owner would be responsible for causing the tenant to complete and file the utility application form. That's the form that the tenant fills out. And that has to be done on or before the date the tenant takes possession. No utility account is going to be changed over to the name of the tenant until that form is properly completed and filed. So, tenant moves out and it's still in the prior tenant's name. That bill continues in that tenant's name till the new tenant fills this form out. If we send the bill to the old tenant and the tenant says, that's not my bill, eventually it's going to go to the owner and the owner is going to pay it. So it's going to be up to the owner to make sure that tenants are
Staying current.
and that the information we have on file is current.
And we're giving them a tool to do that with our new software.
If there's a transfer of possession from one tenant to another, it's going to be the responsibility of the owner to cause the utility application form to be filed with the city. And says that in the event there's a transfer of ownership, it's up to the owner to notify the city of the change of ownership, and minimum monthly charges will continue regardless of occupancy. In the event an owner has notified the city of a change of ownership and has requested final reading, then the owner would be responsible only for the final billing. In the event the owner has notified the city of the change of ownership and requested a final hearing, any subsequent bills become the obligation of the new owner, and we're not going to provide services until the bill's paid. Failure on the part of an owner to notify the city of a transfer of ownership and request final rating would result in that owner continuing to be liable. So we don't know that. We don't know that he changed ownership. And he'll continue to be liable until the new owner requests service to be established in the new owner's name. Okay? We also say that if a tenant previously had a bill in that person's name at a different location and failed to pay the bill, that we reserve the right to refuse to transfer service into the name of that tenant, and it'll remain in the owner's. The Board of Works would have a right to modify this, and if the owner wants to change the listed properties either by adding properties or deleting them, that can be done by submitting it to the city in writing and requesting that the Exhibit A be updated based on any additions or subtractions of rental properties listed. And then the owner represents that the owner has the right to sign this agreement, agree to these terms, that if it's a business entity, the business entity has taken appropriate legal action to approve this agreement and authorize its execution. So
a owner of rental property that has multiple properties, okay, he can fill this out and attach a copy of every
property he wants listed, that he wants it set up so that the tenant who occupies that premise can have the service put in the tenant's name. But the tenant is going to have to come in and submit an application, provide identification information.
That's another form.
That's another form. That's a second form.
That form will be signed by the
And the property owner will as well, because what we want is we want the owners, the actual ownership shown on this form that's submitted by the owner to match up with the legal ownership on a deed. Okay? The second, and we want that same thing to be true with regard to who the actual tenant is that we're putting the service in. We want the landlord to tell us, this is the tenant, and that's who then should sign that form.
So this is more or less a roster for each property owner to file with the city, saying that these are the properties that I own. And then, in addition to that, then there's going to be another form that both the property owner and the tenant, if the property owner wants the utilities in the tenant's name, that will need to be signed by both of them and brought to City Hall.
And basically, the form will be available online. It'll be available here at City Hall, so really what owners should do is they should just print off a bunch of these forms, and anytime there's a change of occupancy, they fill that form out, sign it, tell the tenant, you go into City Hall, file this, they're going to take some information from you, and that allows you to get the service put in your name.
And along with that too, that utility application, that won't just be for tenants, that's for everybody going forward. So that would be if you buy a house, you want water, or utilities put in your name, you have to come fill this out, show ID.
So we're no longer putting it in kids' names.
You no longer call in and say, well,
Yeah. So, you know, and this is just a draft, okay? What we're going to do is Kevin, Ken, Aaron and Kathy, look through this, mark it up. Once we do that, then we'll sit down with some landlords, and we'll review it with them and maybe mark it up some more. But we're going to try to get this into a form that then can be presented to a council probably at the July 19th meeting, if we can get that meeting set up.
Yeah, so I'm going to be in contact with some of the landlords, both, landlords that have a lot of apartments and some that only have a few, and try to get them all in here, maybe 5 or 6 of them, go over this with them and get their input. Like Tim said, mark it up some more, get it back to Tim, and then we'll go from there. So, and then the software, tell them about the software, what it does for the landlord.
There's a few of them that already use it, just kind of start a trial run to see how it went. They have their own account number, they can log in to our website. There will be a link on the Decatur website soon, but we give them a link, they sign into their account, it lists every property that they have, who is at that property in our system, and their balance. So they can view that every day if they want to see what each balance is at each property.
And to a T, what is it, 3 people you're having kind of test it?
Yeah.
And they all love it.
Yeah, they're a fan. And
Yeah. So,
the day we get them signed up to do that, automatically we get 3 or 4 people coming in with payments that
Yeah.
we haven't received in a few months. So
Yeah.
you can tell they're making phone calls.
so,
The idea.
yeah.
Did you want to, we have to pass anything?
Well, we'll just need to table ordinance 2017-15 again.
15, okay.
Okay, make
So-
that motion to table the ordinance 2017-15.
Second. Have a motion and a second to table ordinance 2017-15. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
You can pick it up here, it'll be on the website, and the ones that I have emails as well. I will if I have their email, but I only have 10 or 12 of them, so. You should get it online. It should, not as of today, but hopefully by the end of the week it'll be on the website.
Okay.
And once we finalize the form, we want to finalize the form, make sure it's all the way correct.
And while we're not there yet, I want to thank Kevin and Tim both for all the efforts they've put into this. With this document here, Tim's tried to think of who knows how many different scenarios that could possibly happen. And then I'm sure there are going to be scenarios that happen that we haven't thought of, and that's why we can always amend this thing down the road without rewriting the ordinance. So,
Thank you, Tim.
yeah. Okay, that's all on that one. Thanks, Kevin. Next thing I have is an event sponsorship request, and that is for the Decatur Chamber of Commerce's Decatur Highland Games. Received a email from the chamber. They have 3 levels of sponsorship. We went into this last year with not knowing what the event was going to turn out like. They have a gold level podium sponsorship for $1,000, a $500 podium bronze level, and a $300 event level sponsor. Last year, the city did a $500 podium bronze level sponsorship, which got the city its name and logo displayed on a 24-inch round display board, recognition on radio before and during the event, and on the chamber website and Facebook recognition as a bronze sponsor. Without all those things there, aside from that, I think it was a great event. It proved itself to be a fun day, and a well-attended event, and I fully support us sponsoring it again. I probably would suggest, but ultimately it's up to you guys. And Phyllis, last year, we did the $500 podium bronze. Do you know where we paid that from? I don't recall what you told me. Common Council paid it, so it's your baby, guys.
We still have money.
Comes from our promotion account.
Promotional
correct?
account and the city council funds.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that account's setting. Do you, Phyllis, off the top of your head?
Top of my head, I can check though.
Craig, when are these due?
Oh, I
We
just
got
need a
time.
nod on it, I don't even check.
Yeah, if you want us to check the account, we can address this at the next meeting if you just want to table it, since we don't know how we increased it this year, didn't we?
Yeah, there's...
We did.
I don't think we spent what...
I think it was 30,000,
We,
maybe 1,500.
we
so
had,
we still have plenty.
I think we did, yeah.
I know we increased it because we...
Or something.
We increased it another 10,000 or something,
I don't think it's that much.
didn't we?
I don't think it's that
We
much.
bumped it up.
But we did bump it, yes. Why don't we just table this evening and revisit it in 2 weeks? So we
We
can decide.
want to do it. for
Oh, we
sure.
want to do it, yeah. So whether we want to remain the same,
Or the
at
next,
500, or
or
we
the
wanna
next
go
level
gold.
will be 1,000.
yeah. It's a big jump, it's twice as much, so.
Table till next meeting.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Okay, by motion, Matt motioned and Wiley seconded, the Decatur Highland Games event sponsorship form. We will revisit in 2 weeks after we look at the,
Knowing that we're fully supportive
Yeah.
of the event.
yeah. I'll write a note here. Okay. What's,
But the other thing was an event form too, are we gonna bring it up later?
I got here,
Oh, okay, my part.
I think. For the Highland Games?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have that, Phyllis? The event form for the Highland Games? We do have an event form for the Highland Games. And it is Saturday, October 6th. The event start time is 11:30 a.m. It'll be at the, what are we going to call that, Riverside Park?
Yeah.
Behind Riverside Center. And he's got all the police, fire, and street department sign off on this. Are there any major changes to the event that this one, as far as the event form, I see nothing, but there's nothing that, any different for the city to know, right, for approving this?
No, I don't think so.
I'll make a motion to pass the Highland Game event on
Yeah.
October 6th of 2018.
I have a motion and a second to pass this, and Craig will obviously recuse himself from the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're going to have Highland Games. Thank you. Phyllis, do you have the resolution for the additional appropriation for
While you're-
MVH Street?
While you're doing event.
Yeah. You got another one?
Well, I've got a couple.
You got a couple more.
For the Kikianga Festival, it all actually was approved May 1st, but they're going to change the location and also add the car show,
Okay.
because I don't think we...
So it's just an amended
Right.
form, basically.
Right.
So, yeah, we approved this on May 1st. They changed the location. And it's now going to be at the Riverside Center, the Plaza, 2nd Street, and Madison Street. Various places, right?
Yeah, you know how the Kikianga Fest...
Because everything's coming together with this. The German Fest is at that same time, and so is the car show. So this just covers it all. So, motion to accept the changes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to accept the changes for Kikianga Festival. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then the last one is the Decatur Farmers Market,
And that changed location also.
and that's a change of location. They're currently at the Chamber parking lot, and they will be moving to partially the plaza and partially into the First Street parking lot east of the plaza. And the reason that both will be used is basically, we could possibly lose some of the vendors if we don't allow them to actually sell out of the back of their trucks or et cetera. So for those vendors who need a vehicle to support their sales, they'll locate themselves in the parking lot. And those who can set up a table or a tent or whatever, however they want to promote their business, they would be on the plaza. And during all of this, First Street would be closed. Where does it say that on here?
We wanted to stop, you know that, the southern entrance to the parking lot where the Schaefer building was, just block that off there, and then over on the north side of just to block that Madison Street so that people feel safe with crossing there with traffic.
Yep. Barricade First Street at the south end of the Star Insurance and at the north end of the American Legion from 3 until 7-ish is what they've got here, so.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second that.
Motion and a second to approve the farmer's market changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now, Phyllis, you have that MVH Street Fund and CCD Fund additional appropriation.
We want to make the legal ad a matter of record. This was published in a newspaper about requesting this additional appropriation.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the legal notice for this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The same. Thank you.
Okay. The additional appropriation is to request from the MVH Street Fund $100,000 for a street sweeper and $103,000 out of CCD Fund to purchase the property on the corner of First and Monroe Street.
Okay, and this is a resolution, and it's going to be 2018 dash
Up to 11.
11.
I'll make a motion to place resolution 2018
No, what?
or to pass, I'm sorry, 2018-11.
How do we do these? Is this?
You introduce it, then you do a
Introduce it.
motion.
Okay. So you make a motion to
Introduce it.
introduce it out of a second,
Second.
and Scott seconds that. So Tim, if we could introduce resolution number 2018-2
Dash 11.
dash 11. Go ahead.
Was there a vote?
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Resolution number 2018-11, additional appropriation.
Make a motion to pass resolution 2018-11.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for adoption of resolution 2018-7 or dash 11. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Tim will pass that around.
Sweeper truck.
It's for both.
Two different things.
Sweeper truck, and it's also for the purchase of
Okay.
signing the icon.
Then we have another resolution, and that is to amend our employee handbook. And Phyllis, I'm going to let you cover the details of that.
I think we provided you guys copies
You
of
sent that
all the
out.
things, okay, that we're going to amend. Did any of you have questions?
100,000 out of
No?
the
Yeah.
MVH.
Okay.
103,000.
And all the department heads were giving this, correct? Okay, good. Okay. So,
This is a resolution. Go ahead.
do you want me to read this? Or do
You can
want
read the bullet
to-
points if you
okay.
want to, just
Purpose of this resolution is to amend pages 17, 19, 27, 45, and 53 of the City of Decatur Employee Handbook regarding vacation and sick benefits, comp time, drug, and alcohol testing, and political activity. Amendments to the city employee is hereby amended as shown in Exhibit A, attached hereto, made a part hereof, and incorporated here within. Effective date of amendment shall be effective as of the date of July 1st, 2018. Employees shall be notified by the Clerk Treasurer's Office of such changes. Unless otherwise amended herein, all other terms and conditions of the City of Decatur Employee Handbook as hereto amended shall remain in full force and effective.
that's not what I thought you were going to read. Kind of the bullet points of what the changes are.
I think we talked about it at the last meeting.
Yeah.
Did Barb get that? Yes? No?
No.
It's from the last meeting. Didn't we talk that? Or was it the Board of Works? I can't remember. Do you remember, guys?
Well, it had to do with...
Well, it's all...
Right here,
Yeah, right.
vacation and sick benefits, that they can't take it by the hour now, they have to take it in
Yeah.
half days. How do you say that word?
Compensatory
Compensatory time,
time.
or comp time. And then the drug and alcohol testing, where we set what limits that would fall under, and then political activity.
There was just a typo in the political activity section. And the comp time was, they had to use the comp time up whenever it was accrued. They had a year to take it. That was in...
And that was changed,
Yeah.
changed,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because there was no limit, I don't think, on it
Yeah.
before.
What do we need?
So again, this is a resolution, and this would be the next number, I
It would be, what, 12? I'll make a motion to introduce Resolution 2018-12.
Short time.
Policy resolution. Short title, yeah. Somebody seconded it over here? Scott seconded it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim?
Resolution number 2018-12, short title, Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana, which amends the City of Decatur Employee Handbook dated January 1, 2018.
Make a motion to pass Resolution 2018-12.
Second. I have a motion and a second for passage of Resolution 2018-12. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And again, Tim, if you want to pass that around, we'll need signatures from all the council members.
Okay.
Is there just one copy of this?
Yes.
I'm there, Tim. What you got?
Jeremy Brown called me regarding the Hoosier Pattern tax abatement. He discovered that the real estate is actually owned by an affiliated company. They were not the applicant on the tax abatement declaratory resolution for that was previously adopted by council. So he and I discussed this. They're going to move the public hearing. We need you to approve this, but move the public hearing from July 3rd to July 17th. At your last meeting, you scheduled the hearing for the 3rd. So we need to amend that to go to the 17th. And then what Jeremy will do is he will submit a second declaratory resolution at the July 3rd meeting for the tax abatement on the real estate improvements. Then when we hold the public hearing on the 17th, it will be on both declaratory resolutions, and the confirming resolution will then adopt or approve the two declaratory resolutions, one for personal property, one for real estate.
Sounds good.
Scott, you want to repeat that just to make sure we got it all? Just kidding.
So all I need now is just a motion to change the public hearing from the 3rd to the 17th.
Make a motion to change the dates on the public hearing from the 3rd of July to the 17th of July.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to change the public hearing for Hoosier Pattern from July 3rd to July 17th. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. What else you got?
I got everything checked.
Everything else is checked. Phyllis, you got anything that's not checked?
Yeah, the health insurance. Do we want to change benefits?
Oh, yeah. At the Board of Works meeting this evening, Dan Kintz was here on behalf of John Kintz, and they presented to the City Council our proposal for health insurance for next year. They've done a really good job working with PHP on our behalf. In the last 5 years, go back 5 years ago, we had a 5% increase. 4 years ago, we had a 5% increase, and we were happy with that. The last 2 years, due to our claims really being low, we went without having any increase. And this year, we're back to having another 5% increase. But so in 5 years, we've had 3 5% increases, and with all the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare stuff, a lot of people are really seeing larger increases in their health insurance. Dan presented a scenario to Board of Works this evening, and council sat in on that. And with the 5% increase, I believe that the city's amount for the insurance will now go over the $1 million mark. We've never paid that much out of pocket for health insurance. We were very close. We were in the 900 and some odd $1,000, but with the 5% increase, it takes us up over $1 million to insure all of our employees and their family members. I think we have 170 some odd members in our plan with roughly 70 some employees. So there are single policies, single with a spouse policy, single with children policies, and then family policies, which would be married couples with children. It's 4 different groups. Rather than pass the 5% on to the employees, we are sharing that and putting a small portion of it on the employee of the city, covering the balance of it. Do you know what the percentage actually was? Is it on that paper that I have?
Yeah.
Here we go, Phyllis.
You got it. Okay.
Is that the right one?
Yeah. So currently, they pay, a single plan would pay 3%, and
For a single plan, yeah.
an employee and spouse would pay 7% of the premium, employee and children 8%, employee and family 10%. And we would increase that $2 more biweekly for a single plan, $3 more for an employee spouse, and $6 more for an employee children, and $9 more for an employee and family.
So what you're saying, if I'm hearing you right, is for a family plan, which is the most costly, 90% of that increase is going to be picked up by the city and only 10% by the employee.
Correct.
So can't get much more fair than that.
Deal.
And on a family plan, which is the most expensive, currently an employee is paying $80 per biweekly, or $40 a week. It's going to go up $9 biweekly, or $4.50 is what it's going to go up for a family plan.
It would go from 80 to 89.
From $80 to $89 biweekly. And a single plan is only going to go up $2 biweekly, $1 a week. So it's a great plan with great coverage, and
That would be changing no benefits either.
so we discussed, the benefits to be exactly the same as what we've had in the past. With that said, we had it presented to us at the Board of Works meeting, but now I need council to make a motion to accept this particular proposal with the cost share, or open for other discussion.
Probably shouldn't ask this question. Do you have spousal carve-out on this?
Yes, we did. We changed that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's important for the employees to recognize that we really did not want to change the policy for them. It's a great policy in terms of coverage. So, from the city's perspective, we hear this term Affordable Care Act, yet it keeps growing and growing and growing, and we just have to deal with it.
No, but that's, that was happening before that though too. So.
It was.
When I started on council, it was 500,000. It's now over $1 million.
That's just,
I don't know how you remember that.
that's just the health insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, I make a motion to accept the proposal.
I will recuse myself because my wife works for PHP.
Okay. Have a motion from Matt to approve this particular plan.
I'll second it.
Scott seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Thank you. There you go, employees, that's good. Share that with your staff. Phyllis, what else, do you have anything?
Should be it. I was just going to report on Jeremy Brown, but Tim took care of that. Thank you, Tim.
Lenny, what do you have this evening?
Officer Luke Rumschlag and Officer Dan Hunter reported to Academy yesterday morning. I did call them. They got yelled at a lot. But they said they went well. My boy did well too. He said he got yelled at too. I think we'll go down there next week and visit them, have dinner with them. My police came down and saw me, so I thought that was kind of nice.
That is cool.
tomorrow... we have-
You gonna take cookies too? You take some cookies.
They gotta stay in shape, so... But tomorrow, reserve board meeting, we'll be adding 3 or 4 officers on to select, so I'll report back at the next meeting.
Great. Dan, you're not Dan, you're Kevin. Old habits. Les?
Good.
Kurt?
The only thing I have is, we need to sign over the front house. Summertime, garage sales. I'd like to ask that the public refrain from putting garage sale signs on our new light posts that we have downtown here.
Thank you.
If they are installed, we will remove them.
Thank you. Done.
Madison Street's getting real close.
Yep. And you've been real quiet back there. Nothing? Mr. Carbach?
I have some.
Uh-oh.
He's all excited.
Come on, Bill.
He's got his tail wagging.
Yeah. Bill's tail was wagging real fast.
I'll give this to the media. I think there's a lot of, we need public to know that if they have a vehicle in their yard, on their premises, it needs to be in operative condition, it needs to be licensed, and it needs to be insured. And there's a lot of people that have their vehicles, old vehicles, just sitting around. And what I'd like to do is let the neighbors know that they can report a vehicle in their neighborhood that is in inoperative condition. And they need to call the code enforcement, which the numbers the media has, and or call the police. And they don't have to give their name. They basically just need to give their location, and we'll come out and check the vehicle out. Some vehicles are setting in, if the vehicle is setting in a bunch of weeds in that, and a bunch of grass growing up around it, we'll consider that inoperative, and we will give them a 10-day notice that they need to do something in the next 10 days with that vehicle. And if not, then it will be, have a 72-hour sticker put on, and then it will be towed away.
Is that true about trailers also?
Also, trailer is a vehicle, considered vehicle.
There's a place over on 11th Street. I don't mean that. Jefferson Street. Jefferson and First
There's a
Street.
number there to call and give the code enforcement officer that information.
Okay.
I don't have everything correct, right? Like,
I don't.
tell me.
They can also go out on the Decatur website and report it on that citizen reporting
Exactly.
too.
It's in there also.
Okay.
Is this only vehicles that are visible from the street, or is this vehicles in a person's backyard?
I would say a vehicle is a nuisance if it's setting in inoperative condition. So if you consider that in your neighborhood as a nuisance, whether it's sitting in an alley, whether it's sitting wherever, if you feel it's a nuisance to your neighborhood, then I think you should report it.
Okay. Thank you, Bill.
Some vehicles are not as much as a nuisance, but it's still an ordinance violation, so.
It's one thing if a person's vehicle is operable, and he just doesn't have a big enough driveway to park a couple cars in, so he's kind of made his yard a pull-in place, but he's coming and going every day. That's one thing.
Right.
But a car that's parked there and never moves, maybe doesn't have a plate, maybe it doesn't run, is different. So.
As a one body, one person, very few hours worked, it's difficult to cover the whole city.
Yep.
But I do try to cover the whole city, and I start in different locations, and tomorrow I will start
Early.
out across
On Jefferson
across the
Street.
bridge out into the Belmont Estate area and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And I guess that's what I'm saying.
3814? 3814, that's code enforcement.
That's the building and planning department.
Thank you for the effort, Bill.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awful difficult, like the mayor said, to see some of the vehicles that are out around back and whatever, but I catch vehicles that are out on the street that are basically, if a vehicle is sitting there and I see where the street sweepers went around it a number of times, and it's sitting there and there's a drain in front of it that's plugged and clogged, then I know that vehicle pretty much is not operated. So I'll go back and look at the plate, and a lot of times the plate's expired, and I'll put a 10-day sticker on it. Our ordinance calls, we used to just put 72-hour stickers on them and tow them away in 72 hours. But our ordinance actually says the vehicle cannot sit there over a period of 10 days. So we've been giving the people the opportunity to know that in a 10-day period and a 72-hour sticker. And that's worked out quite well. We used to tow quite a few vehicles, and we're down to very few. I think we towed a couple last week. But
Okay, thank you.
I think, like I said, the public thinks, and I've been on the public's property, and they say, it's my property, I can do what I want to here, it's my vehicle, I pay taxes, blah, blah, this. And, I think the public just don't realize that if you got a vehicle that's sitting on your property, it has to be in those conditions. It has to be operative, it has to be licensed, it has to be insured, even if it's on your property. So,
Thank you.
okay.
Melissa?
Yes, I have a couple of things. This week is going to be a good week for Decatur downtown. Farmers Market on Thursday night concert series on the plaza on Thursday, and Decatur on Saturday. So Decatur tickets are still on sale, so it's going to be a good weekend here.
Absolutely.
The other item I have is I've got one more event form, and I'll try to make this as clear as mud. And Craig and Miley can help. Okra has come out with one of their quick turnaround grant opportunities to celebrate Downtown Development Week in October. And part of that is you have permission from the city to have an event. And so that's what we're presenting to you tonight, is an event form for an event that we're not sure of all the details quite yet, but this grant application is due at the end of June. So Main Street's working to submit an application that would include some kind of fun event, but this meeting is the last meeting before
Good
the
thinking.
grant is due. So it's an event form for an event that doesn't have specifics, but once we know specifics,
And the
it'll
grant
be
is up to
updated.
$1,000.
It's kind of wild.
Is it a 50-50 matching grant?
It's a 1 to half, so you can request up to 1,000, but you're required to match half
500.
with either cash or an in-kind service.
Oh, we can do that.
We can do that.
And the date we have to have it is between October 8th and October 12th. So we figured if we could tie something in with Californian days, we'll meet with those people and come up with something cool to do.
Yeah,
Cool.
to kind of, get warmed up for California.
We just got the email today. Wiley's
Yeah.
tail started wagging. I called Ken. Ken said, get a hold of Melissa. Melissa just got off a plane, so it's kind of...
I'll make
October 8th through the 12th. 8th is a Tuesday, the 12th is a Saturday, so
And Okra has designated that as Downtown Development Week as one of their methods to encourage, obviously, downtown development.
And we even have the regional Okra representative willing to come to us and help us work through details too.
I make a motion to save the date for an event to be determined.
it's a no-brainer. Motion?
I'll have to refuse. Because I signed it.
I'll second it.
I got a motion and a second, and Craig's recusing himself, because he'll probably do all the work.
No, we'll get a team.
You're going to team, yeah.
This is a team effort.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Cool.
Hey,
One
thanks,
more,
Melissa.
one more downtown event.
forward the copy to me
So we
when
don't
you
know
get
what
that,
it
would you? After you sign
But
it.
it's gonna be a great one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anything else, Melissa?
It's gonna be a great one.
Clyde, you're the only public here. You're good. Anything from the media? Anything from any council members? If not,
We got a great Thursday night if the weather holds off. We've got our local Ryan Green's going to play at 6 o'clock on Thursday night. Island Vibes will be starting at 7. He'll do an hour show. We've got 7 to 9. We've got Island Vibes. We've got food vendors for this, like normal, and then the Shrine and Masonic Lodge, thanks to Scott Murray and the Masonic Lodge and the guys in Adams County Shrine Climbers. We're going to have a free bounce house for kids during that.
cool. You know what kind of food vendors or how many of the varieties there'll be?
I know Ryan Noblet's going to be there with barbecue. The Historical Society is going to have the popcorn and pop and water. Optimus will be there with the tenderloin sandwiches. I tell you anything else?
Will Andy's be open?
Andy's will be open.
Andy's Coney.
The hot Coney's will be open.
Cool.
So should be another fun night.
Yep.
Claims.
Make a motion that we pay the claims.
Have a motion in 2 seconds to pay the claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a second to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same. Thank you. We are adjourned.